right, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, Opulence Nation, wherever you are coming to us from around the world. I'm excited to have you all here today. My name is Rebecca Robinson. I'm a lifestyle advisor coming to you from Ottawa, Canada. And I'm very excited and honored to be able to host these two fine gentlemen today for this product call. When I partnered with Opulence almost 16 years ago. In that time, the reasons why I've partnered with Opulence have changed over the years and grown. But I can tell you that no matter what, when it comes right down to it, if I want to encompass everything that is Opulence, everything that's important to me and why I'm here and why I've stayed here for so long, it's because of freedom. Freedom is really the word that I would use to describe what you're about to hear tonight. Of course, our focus tonight is going to be on health freedom, and we have some amazing gentlemen here that are going to take this call over. So first, I want to introduce to you Mr. Rene Liao. Rene has graduated from the University of Toronto in software engineering, far cry from health. And he worked for IBM and TELUS and was earning an $80,000 a year salary. He was introduced by his sister, now the company's youngest millionaire. He's a lifestyle director for, which if you're a guest here might not mean anything to you, but it means that he has worked his butt off to support other partners. And he is now qualified for the luxury car program multiple times. I have lost track how many cars he's on now with the car program, which is a good problem. He has, which does include a Tesla P90D, which is a $200,000 car for those of you who are not car people. So Rene has reached $100,000 a month in earnings a month. And more shockingly, he did that with only 7,000 people in his team. His team is now well over 28,000 people in over 110 countries around the world. And we have some people representing those countries tonight. He is happily married after proposing to his wife Heidi with a $47,000 Fairy Mosh diamond ring in 21 karat gold. Of course, she said yes. And it is now worth well over $80,000. He also has two growing boys. My goodness, they have grown like wildfire. They're actually young men now, Leon and Rex. And Rene's very happy to be able to travel with his boys, support them in their sports ventures, and just be with them full time. He just recently made a monster purchase and is working on designing his brand new $5 million home. And he's here to support and train us. So Rene is a founding member. He is a shareholder. He sits on the company CEO's advisory board. And he has also received the company's highest award, which is the President's Cup, not only once, but twice. So he is no one to be messed with, that's for sure. Now, our second co-host for the evening. This gentleman, he's really a powerhouse in his own. I'm just going to go over to my cheat sheet so I don't say anything wrong. Henry Zhang, he is an immigrant to Canada in the early 90s. He has dedicated over 20 years to practicing traditional Chinese medicine and acupuncture. So as a registered TCM practitioner, he owns a renowned clinic in Toronto, Canada. And Henry's expertise extends to natural health products as he also runs his own brand. In 2019, Henry, captivated by the Fountain of Life's benefits and Opulence Global's compensation plan, he joined the company. So leveraging his vast knowledge of natural health and product benefits, Henry rapidly ascended to become a Lifestyle Director 3, expanding his business worldwide. His influence spans 33 countries and territories, particularly in key markets like China, Taiwan, and Hong Kong. Today, Henry stands as one of Opulence Global's top earners, reaping the rewards of his efforts. Welcome, gentlemen. Excited to have you here today.
Well, thank you so much, Rebecca. Again, as always, great to have you as a host. You should be like a TV show personality voice because you have one of the best hosting voices in the planet. And so again, I'm always good to have you with us. And your enthusiasm, your energy is very contagious. So thank you so much for a kind introduction. And hello, Henry, my partner in crime. Well, no, a partner in health tonight. Yes. So again, thank you, Rebecca. And again, of course, a very good evening, good morning, good afternoon, everyone on the call. Today, Henry and I got a chance to, of course, lead you through the product Crossfire. I wanted just to apologize if I sound a little bit stuffed up. I actually, on Friday evening, had a bit of a cold, and I just started to actually use double dosages of Fountain of Life. So I usually take about one dropper 3 times a day. I was doing about 6 droppers, so two every time, 3 times a day. And I doubled up on my Divine. So if you're using Divine, our brand new product, of course, too, which is right over here to show you guys. Usually I take about, 3 capsules a day. I've been doing about six. And so surprisingly, I thought I was heading towards this crazy flu, fever, shiver, stuff like that. But actually I managed to stick through. I took my kids to a tennis tournament on Sunday, been really active. I went to the gym today again. So, it's amazing again how well these products actually work. But tonight, of course, we want to get a chance to talk a little bit more about really, I guess, Henry. Henry of course, has come from the background in nutrition for such a long period of time. And we thought it would be a great idea for us to sort of delve into the mind of Henry. And so for those of you who don't know, Henry has spent, well over 20 years in the TCM field. So TCM, if you're not sure what it stands for traditional Chinese medicine, and then P for practitioner. And he is registered. So it's a RTCMP is his, I guess, his full title. And for those who don't know, the story of how Henry got involved with the business, perhaps I can start off that story. Of course, let Henry finish off with, I guess, why he decided to actually get started with Opulence. A lot of you may also know other people in the health field, whether they're TCMs or they are naturopaths, they are RMTs, massage therapists, acupuncturists, shiatsu, cupping, you name it. Henry, I think, is a really great example of someone that can inspire a lot of us to want to share this product with more people just like him in his field. And so I guess a part of also today's, product Crossfire is to maybe, of course, also share some insights and some trainings that might also help you take your business to a next level. But of course, if you have any questions in the meantime, please feel free to put your questions into the QA chat box. And of course, myself or Henry will definitely be more than happy to answer those questions. So, for those who don't know, so here in Toronto, we have the world headquarters. It's right on Highway 7. And Leslie, a lot of you have been there already. And actually, I was there one day doing a training with another partner, and that partner had asked, Renee, well, where do you find customers? Or where do you find people? And I said, well, it's very easy. They're everywhere. They're online. Like they're on Google Maps. And he says, well, really? And so I actually opened up my phone. I opened up Google Maps and I typed in the word naturopath. And guess whose store was closest to the office? I called the very first one in my list, and that was Henry's store. It was called Seiji Canada. So I actually called the store and I basically said, hello. He says, hi. And I asked him a question. I said, are you the owner of Seiji Canada? He says, yes. His name is Henry. And so I just said to him, well, basically, Henry, my name is Renee. I represent a product called the Fountain of Life. We just got our NPN number, and now you can say NPN level 3. And we are actually sharing with the market this incredible product. Have you heard of something called lignans? Now, if you're not on my Instagram or TikTok or Facebook pages, please go there. I did a video today talking about, I leave tips every day, and today's tip was about how much lignans you should be getting. And that's just another side topic, though. So anyhow, in short, Henry said, he doesn't really know what lignans are. I explained a little bit about the story of Fountain of Life, the scientist, and the tree was blocking the light to the kitchen, and he cut the tree down, and then the broken branch kept living. And so I just told Henry that, it's a powerful super antioxidant. It's like anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial, antibacterial. I said, Henry, can I come by and show you a sample of the product and show you some more testimonials? He said, sure, come on by. And so at this point in time, I'll turn the story over to Henry. But Henry, I will be asking you some more questions along the way because again, you have so much vast knowledge. Why don't you share first, sort of what was going through your mind when I guess I called you, I cold called you, I didn't know you, but what was going through your mind?
Okay. Yeah. So because I have been in this industry and I gone through a lot of product research and formulation, and I have to get the approval from Health Canada in order to sell any products. So I have my own line, and I'm trying to enrich my line to a bigger and bigger collection of different products for different conditions, and that has been my pursuit. And I was trying to enlarge the collection uh, uh, also expanding the scope of my practice. Main focus at the time was the brain health, which means I deal with anything to do with the so anybody with typically dementia, Parkinson, Alzheimer. So all these difficult conditions or incurable disease, we try to help people with a natural remedy that we have developed and we have been using over the years. But most of the customer clients, they are coming for brain-related issues.
I was hoping you can share with people because you just mentioned that before Opulence and before Fountain of Life, you were trying to develop all different types of products for different issues, right? So let's pause there because I think some people don't really understand how much work is involved in trying to apply for the NPN number, right? So can you talk a little bit about that? Like, is it a big challenge to try to make so many different products, source the ingredients, apply for Health Canada? Like, is it a lot of work? Maybe you can share with us what is the entailment of that whole entire process.
All right. You hear now?
Yes, perfect.
Wonderful. Okay. Yeah, so when we were trying to get the approval for Health Canada approval of the MPN, it's always easier to apply for a single ingredient. But our products, they're all like multiple, 5, 10, 20 ingredients. And that take my main product called Seiji took 7 years to get it approved. At the time, it cost me over $10,000 just to get
7 years though.
yeah, 7 years. Take a long time, especially in the beginning. It's much more difficult because they don't have all these monographs and all that. So it takes many years, and they don't have very much clue about what is like cordyceps, like a mushroom or like a fungus. They have to do a lot of research. So there was a lot of work involved in trying to get the approval from Health Canada. So now it's getting a little easier now, but to get the level 2 and level 3, that's definitely something that we have to do a lot more work, like what Opulence has put through in order to
Right.
get this license for us to be able to market better and easier.
So Henry,
So
sorry, yeah, because your brain has so much information. I'm going to tap into your brain for the people to know more things here. You mentioned to me before that in the world, there's three of the toughest, I guess, governments and health authorities when it comes to trying to apply for a product. Like some countries are very loosey-goosey, so most things get through. And it could be bad for you, but it gets through still, right? So can you talk a little bit about those three countries? I think one was, of course, Canada. But I guess taking 7 years kind of shows that it's not easy getting the NPN number, right? And Canada's, so if you get it, it means something really good, right? But what about
yes,
so yeah, can you share a bit more about that, please?
yes, there are two other countries on top of the line, which is Singapore and Japan. So Canada is among the top three countries that they actually license a product for its functionality, its efficacy, it's the what it does. So that is very challenging, and it's very difficult to get it approved. So that's why Canada is on top of the list. When it's approved by Health Canada, then most of the countries in the world, they have no major issue as long as you provide the license number, the information, and the background material. Usually we can get it approved by other countries. Well, in many other countries, including a lot of products from the US, they can't be approved by Health Canada because they have much tougher guidelines as to what products are allowed in this country. So that's why for us to have the Canadian Health Canada approved the product for the world, it's much easier for people to apply for their own license in the country. So that's what people like Virac, they're doing in Cambodia, we're doing it in Taiwan, in South Korea. So we just need to provide the information. Usually it can get approved by all these countries.
Perfect. So I guess going back to what you're saying before now, when you with your own Seiji Canada trying to make all these products, and you have a wide range of products. And in fact, when I first went to Henry's clinic, for those of you who have gone, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, you go inside and he has a lot of products there. He has, of course, products that he himself had put together and got the NP number 4 that he was selling. And when I first met you also had many other products from other, I guess, network marketing, multi-level marketing companies, right? So, and one of the things that I always admired about you and really respected about you, Henry, was that for you, you were always open-minded to trying to find the best product to service your customers, right? But one thing that you mentioned to me before was that, that in trying to work with some of these other products, perhaps because they're really expensive, that you found it hard to sell, or maybe can you talk a little bit about, maybe why did you see Fountain of Life, as the one to kind of lean toward? Because right now you really heavily promote that. Yeah, maybe you can share a bit more about what your thought process was.
Yes, when you first introduced this product to me, it struck me in various aspects of a product, because when I was doing all this research and then how powerful they are and how much is the profit margin, how people could afford it, what my retailers would be looking at, and all of this information is in my mind when you came to show me the product, because we have to calculate how much profit margin we can give to wholesalers, retailers. So all that information is in the back of my mind. So that's why I'm in the field, but I'm more as you said, it's experienced in the field of pricing, the profit margin, and all this is very important to a survival of a company, a brand name, especially if we want to expand it to a bigger capacity, so that maybe a public company can purchase us and all that. So this is all in the back of my mind. I also gone through a lot of networking products, because there are good products in the networking industry, and they are usually more expensive. So that's why they go this way, because we have people that could explain it and talk about it in person, instead of just a very expensive product sitting in the shelf of a supermarket or like a health food store. So that way, if it's too high price, nobody is going to even look at it in more detail. So that's why a more valuable product, is usually highly priced. It's more expensive than others, and take a lot of education for people to understand the product. So in that process of going through all these companies, all these products, I find some of them has some function to help people, but when they are too expensive, then it gets stuck. And there is no profit margin in those products, because even the membership price is already way too expensive for the normal consumers. So to say nothing of you double it or get another 40% on top of the wholesale price or membership price. So when I compare the Fountain of Life or our product line from Opulence, I realized it's a much more affordable and a much more cost-effective product than almost anything that I can think of. especially when one product can do everything to so much things, especially when you use it topically, internally. It's just done so much for people, and it's such a great potential. That way, people would not be, they don't have an excuse to run away from it anymore. Because in the old times, people, they simply block it away, whether it's a networking product, whether it's a regular product, they find all kinds of ways to shy away from those products. But now the Fountain of Life is almost something that nobody, if they are in the right mind or right sense of mind, they should not say no to. At least they should open up their mind and take a look. So this is the kind of product that I have been almost like looking for or trying to work out something like this for many years. So when I see it,
Wow.
like I found gold. So
So,
when I found
I
started to
remember
dig.
the first time I met you, you were thinking of grabbing 6 bottles, and I told you about the family pack, buy 12, get one free. That's an old family pack. And you're buying 13. So can you share with the people tonight what you did with those 13 bottles and why that kind of got you, more excited?
Yeah, I have these all these products. I mean, these tried everything before, and I do have a lot of customers that are looking for better results with affordable product. And I have these people, and I pretty much right away I want you to prove that what Renee talked to me about is true. And I just made the assumption that I I I wish all this is true, but I'm going to prove to myself whether it's true or not. But I made the assumption that even if, to the bottom line, even if only 10% of what Renee told me about is true, this product is already a great product. So that's just my back away, kind of back off kind of assumption that you cannot go wrong with it. And that's why I started right away to promote to introduce it to my clients and customers almost like immediately within 2, 3, 4 days. I started to have people come back to say, can I get a couple more? Can I get a few more? And so all of a sudden, all the products are gone, and people started coming back to get a reorder or a refill. So that really encouraged me. And when the product giving me this feedback in a day or two, or even a matter of hours or minutes, then I see the power. I think I'm more and more excited to find out that this is much more than what even Renee told me about. So not just 10%. That in my mind is like 200%, 300%. It's more than what Renee told me, and because I have this such a big client base, I tried on different conditions, different. So that way I got my inventory, and then I signed up a bigger pack. After Renee came back from Singapore, I said, sign me up, and I got a bigger pack.
Actually, sorry to cut you off there because I don't want to forget about this, but before we get to the Singapore thing while I was there, can we talk a little bit about the people who tried it? Because I remember you telling me that one of them had Parkinson's and their hand was like a bit shaking.
Yeah.
And then I remember the story. You told me that she at first wasn't
Yes.
sure. She tried to drop her, like something like that,
Yeah.
or
Yeah, so she came for my other product, Seiji, which is designed for all these difficult conditions, including Parkinson, shaking, and all that. So she came for that. While I did this whole body scan for her to see what's going on in the body, I was talking about this new product that I had that I'm very excited about. She didn't really budge. She was just focusing on the other product that I had. But I started to do this whole body scanning to see what's going on in the body, what's causing problem, the weakness, like getting a map for her body to tell her what's going on, what's missing, what's off balance, what's too much, too little, and all of these things we're talking about. And so at the same time, I just introduced the Fount of Life to her, and I dropped one dropper in her mouth, and she also mentioned that she had a neck pain, so I rubbed a few drops in there and I started to massage it a bit. So just at the end of the session, while she was paying for the product and the service, she all of a sudden she realized something. She said, "Oh, why is my hand not shaking?" And I said, "Are you kidding?" She said, "No, I'm not kidding. It's not shaking." And I said, I'm not sure what to say, but I'm not sure that is the case. Maybe you are just mentally just assuming that it is helping. So I give it a lot of dampening. I was not encouraging her to believe this is the one that did it in a few minutes, half an hour. It's going to do that. So I told her about that, and then she also mentioned to me that her neck is not hurting as much. I said that could be true because if you massage directly on the pain area in a half an hour, 20 minutes, you might really get direct benefits from it. So she mentioned those two things, and then she paid for everything. She didn't even buy the Fountain of Life. She didn't plan for it. She didn't budget for it. So she went home, and she lived in Brampton. We are in Richmond Hill. So the next morning, about 8 o'clock in the morning, while I was still in a lazy morning sleep, she called and she mentioned to me that she wanted to tell me a good news. I said, "What happened?" She said, "Oh, remember we were talking about the shaking yesterday, and this morning, for the first time in many days, I don't shake like crazy as before. As before I see you yesterday, I would normally take a bunch of medication for controlling my symptoms and all that to start my day. Otherwise, I wouldn't even be able to survive the day." So she before she take anything, she didn't feel the shaking, and she was very surprised. She wanted to confirm that it is this thing that does that. So she mentioned that, and she said, can you drop off a couple bottles to me, because yesterday I didn't really plan for it or have the budget for it, but I do really want to have it." So I had to. I was so excited. I actually run out and I dropped off to her myself in person, and she was very surprised because usually practitioners don't run around to deliver product, but she was very excited and so that was the kind of things we get, and very surprisingly, this is happening, and all this. And you remember we're talking about Jonanta, right?
Yes.
The one with the heart issue, and she had this blockage in her left side of her heart, having a blockage or some kind of a chest pain. And the doctor did a stress test. She couldn't pass it. She was like, her heart rate was very high. And then the doctor advised her not to travel, not to go to work, and a whole bunch of restrictions for her. And she was very worried and excited, were very worried. And so she came to see me, and I happened to have it just for a few days. And then
she had booked a flight already. She had booked her travel plans already. Yeah. And then she found out after she booked the travel plans that she had this issue and she wasn't supposed to travel, right? Yeah.
Right. She even paid for insurance and everything. So she doesn't want to waste money. And she came to see me to get a second opinion or something. So I told her about it, and amazingly, just a couple of days later, she said that she got relief from the chest pain, the heart palpitation, so much that changed. Even hair started growing. And then 2.5 weeks later, she is back to work. And the people, they see her, they were very much surprised, because when you have some kind of a heart issue, heart attack, or whatever it is, it's very disconcerting. And she was worried about it, and people know about the whole thing. When she came back, people were surprised. They said, "What happened? How you were doing better?" And she said, "Yes, I almost get rid of the problem, and I'm feeling better in every way. I'm feeling this is better." And she gave it to her daughter. Her daughter had the same improvement in different things, different areas, hair loss and improvement and all that. So the people were surprised, and they were asking, "What did you do? Who did you see?" So I happened to give her a few flyers and a business card, and she actually called me from work. She said, Henry, did you really mean that I can be your distributor? I said, yeah, yeah. How much it costs? I said, this. And she said, can I come to sign up now? I said, yeah, by all means, come right now. So she came and she became my first ever, we call it LA at the time. So she was my first distributor. Now she's still my first distributor on the very, very top of my line. And she has probably about 900 people under her by
Is it
now.
your first time that someone came to you and said, sign me up kind of thing?
Yeah, in the whatever past 20 some years of my networking experience, that's almost the only time when we with the Fund of Life with the Opulence Global, that's the only time we had such a luck of people coming chasing us to sign up. While the other times we have to chase people 10, 20, 30 times, 1 year, 2 year, 5 year, whatever, then people might be able to give you a face to sign up. But this man, it's just people chasing us. And
And
the important thing is she got, I think, a few orders from her co-workers. So she was holding the money from those people to sign up. So when she
oh,
got
I
the,
see.
she divided into those customers, and
Uh-huh.
she just 2.5 weeks later she came back for the second package, and that's when we're talking about how much progress she made and all that.
So actually, with her story though, I'm not sure if you mentioned it just now, but when she got another check, her blood clot was gone, right?
Yeah,
Did you mention
yeah.
that? Which is crazy. So actually, I think so back to your story, I recall that I went to Singapore to do some business meetings. And while I was there, you had called me and you said, Renee, how do I order more products, right? So was it the same time that Jolanta got involved too? I kind of forgot the timelines, but anyways,
I think she is she's yeah she when she uh, yeah, I don't remember the exact timeline now, but she came and she signed up. That was I think I signed up maybe while you were away or something. I don't remember how it all evolved.
actually, yeah, the day I met you, you bought 13. But then I invited you the very next day or the day after to come visit our head office. And I think you launched at the head office.
Yeah, I
I
think that was it because I think you were away while we were doing the head office meeting. It's the I think it's and some kind of a conference on Valentine's Day or something like that. It's an anniversary. I think at that time you were still in Singapore, but I think I signed up during the convention, and that's how everything started. I think I signed up before you even came back from Singapore.
yeah, I think so. So again, another question for you though is now that you had FOL and you also had all these other products, in your clinic, right?
Mhm.
What happened from that point till now?
Well, I never looked back because this has been a booster to my business. I don't have to expand my line anymore. I don't have to spend so much in advertising cost and inventory and research and customer service and storage. So much thing that it used to kind of overwhelm me. It all become easy and I get a lot of customers from just Fund of Life by word of mouth. People come. I don't have to spend as much marketing money to advertise. Spend your hard-earned money trying to build your brand and all that. Now I have the Fund of Life. I have the Opulence system. I just need to tap into to. It's almost like as I said, the Opulence Global is a bullet train. I'm just one more cart. So I just plug myself into a system and it just flies with it. And that just made it so much easier. It relieved a lot of stress on me because if you are building your own brand, you're always worried somebody using the product and they get sick or they ended up in the hospital. Then you feel like you're liable or you have a problem to deal with that. So that was actually a big stressor for me if I have to be very careful, and I need to always always looking at a lot of insurance money to cover everything, and all these things were just happening before. But with the Fund of Life, I just shifted a lot of resources to promoting the Fund of Life, and that actually paid off, and it's just been very rewarding for me.
And you mentioned, of course, before, like COVID was a time where a lot of businesses went down, right? Because a lot of things were just going on, right? So what was COVID like for you then? You have a business. Most businesses were again going down. So what was it like for you though during COVID time?
COVID struck, and a lot of let's say RTCMP offices or clinics, they closed down. They went home. They went to basement, or they simply just drop out of the system. We have almost about 11,000 TCM practitioners before the COVID. And then after that, we have this licensing procedure and a lot of things involved. And when the pandemic struck, when we locked down 1 month, 1 month, 3 months, half a year, a lot of people, they can't even pay the licensing fee or the whatever annual renewal fee and insurance and everything. So there's some of them, they just drop out of the system. They don't do it anymore. For me, I have this expense of when you own a business, you have this online. There are so many things, so many expenditures that you need to take care of while during the process of pandemic. And if I don't have the Fund of Life, I don't have the Opulence system, I would be struggling myself. I might not even be able to hold my office as it is because it's such a big expense, and then you have everything else. But with the Fund of Life, I am able to survive very well, and I expanded my business worldwide. And it just brings more customers and people looking for Fund of Life. They found me, and sometimes they tap into my other services or products. So it really helped to boost my line and my brand name. And now I think I'm more well known than before with the system of the Opulence system.
Now, I think one of the biggest stories that you always talk about, and I think a lot of people have heard of it, but for sure not everyone on this call has heard of it before. But can you share the story of the mother in Malaysia who had the baby that had the what's that disease called?
Encephalitis.
Thank you, encephalitis. Yeah. So can you share that story with people? I think not everyone has heard about it. It's such a powerful story. If you could share the photos too, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, I was that was in I joined the Opulence in February, and by March 6th, that's like less than 20 days later, I had this call from Malaysia where the desperate mother is saying that her daughter was given up by the doctors, and they were ready to do a funeral for the baby, and the mother has to pick a date to pull the plug and let her go. And that's a very sad story. But I was encouraging her. I said, don't give up. Try this and see what happens, because I'm hearing good stories about it. And then she had no other way of, nobody can help her. So she was in a very desperate situation. So she had to send me some money, and I have to kind of rush it to her. And she got it. Because what happened was she had this infection in the brain that's called encephalitis, which expand kind of before the because when you have infection in the brain is kind of swollen and expanding, and then just before it just kills her. The doctor had to open it up, surgery called ear to ear surgery, that opened up and then try to, when the doctor stitched it back, the baby had difficulty breathing. She doesn't drink. She doesn't drink. She's not able to suck like a normal baby. So she's on a feeding tube. She's on mask. She's on everything, life support, for like 4 months, until eventually the doctors had a meeting. They decided to pull the plug on the baby. But I just encouraged her to try it, and she got it. she got my product in time just to give the baby to try, just 5 drops, 2 or 3 times, four times a day. And in 8 days, the baby started to wake up to be able to drink milk and to breathe on her own. And she opened her eyes, so much change. And after that, she just got better and better. And it's a life-saving story that really strike deep into my heart. I feel like I'm doing a good deed together with God's hand. Like as we all say, God helps you when you help yourself. If the mother gave up on the baby, she wouldn't have the baby anymore with her. And that's something that I feel I'm so much empowered with this product. It's almost like God's gift for me to help people even around the world. So it's not, she was able to find me because she was looking for brain rejuvenation, brain cell recovery, and all that. She found my line, which is a Seiji for brain health product, and she yelled out loud. She whistled. It's like in the Titanic, the lady that she flip over into the sea and run over to another side to get a whistle, and she whistled, and I hear I came around and hold my hand out, and she grabbed my hand. She got out of the water. So that's just how touching it was, and it really motivated me to do more. And that's just the beginning of all the beautiful stories that I have been experiencing. And I'm so blessed with this product. And I want to thank you for introducing me to this product. And
you're welcome.
I'm the chosen one.
No, you're very welcome, Henry. And actually, the one thing you told me before about that mom was she said to you that you better live for another at least 20 years or 30 years because she said that she wants you to attend her daughter's wedding when she gets older.
Yeah.
Like that to me is so powerful and so touching.
Yeah, that means a lot to me. And I have been helping a lot of people, and then people look at me in a different way now. So I feel like I'm valued by the world, valued by the patients, customers, friends around me. So it's just empowered me in many ways.
I mean, you are valued by everyone at Opulence because, one thing that I think you have such tremendous respect with people because not only do you help people in your own team, you help everybody. I know the people who are not in your teams that go and visit you and ask you for help, and you never close your doors to anyone, right? So I believe that God has a great plans for you indeed, definitely for sure. And so, actually, there's a question that came in, Henry, before we continue our story, and the question is. What is the TCM view on FOL as it is functional food grade nutrition, while Western medicine practitioner might say is no to it? If that makes sense to what they're trying to ask.
TCM, we are always we look at the functional life as one of the herbs. One of the herbs that we have hundreds of different herbs that we use, but the fount of life, the Norwegian spruce tree, is just one of the material, one of the raw ingredient, one of the things that we could be using, could be in combination with others, but just fount of life by itself stands out to be a very unique and a very self-contained unit of all capacity nutrient the body is really looking for, and they are very hungry for it, and we don't know until we are sick. So our body just shows in the form of different symptoms, different disease, different things in our body without us making the connection. But when we make the connection, we realize that's the missing link. When we have all these problems in our body, the missing link is actually the nutrients from the Norwegian spruce, which is the lignans or 7-HMR. And we see the connection, we see the difference. While other modalities, if they don't research into it, if they don't try it, they could just brush it off like anything else. So we just have to do more education. Not everybody is going to be open to try something new. I actually ventured myself into one of the clinics, and I got like a block out pretty much right away. I said, I have this to introduce to you. They said, no, we're not interested. So not everybody is like me. People who are not looking, they are not really open to different things, then they could easily block you out. But as I said, you just hold out your hand, and whoever take your hand, they get off the freezing sea. They jump into a life saving boat, and they are saved. So we just feel that that's what we are doing, and we are not even bothered by anybody who rejects us. It's like we are trying to help them to improve their business or improve the power to help their clients. If they are not open, then that's just too bad for them.
I think the saying goes, right? The SW, which stands for some will, some won't. So what? Someone's waiting. And, I just want to add to that question because end of the day, for the Western medicine people, who don't believe in this, function food type of product, right? Again, my response would be, you have to look at, again, what are the authorities that are actually approving this, right? Number one, we have Health Canada, which again is one of the most strictest health authorities in the world. That's why it took Henry sometimes 7 years to get his NPN numbers for his other products, right? And second of all, we also have our NPN level 3 classification. And the only way you get number 3 classification is by time. You have to actually prove with stability testing and toxicity testing and efficacy testing to show that this product is actually able to do the things that the research has shown it to do. So I think for the Western medicine people, if you just highlight the fact that we have a class 3, level 3 classification, NPN level 3, combine that with all the research that has gone into from Western education, right? So again, for those who don't know, I put together a collection of studies on Google Drive. It's a Google Word document that now has like probably close to maybe even like 80 different links of all of the research that has gone behind either lignans in general, or in particular, the lignans from Fountain of Life, which is called the 7-hydroxymethylricinol, right? And so these are all studies on PubMed, which is the US National Library of Medicine, or ResearchGate, or Science Direct. It's the 3 of the most popular websites for hosting studies. It's all there. And these are PhD students, doctorants that are doing these studies. Again, from the Western world, right? They're not from Chinese medicine doing a study. No, they're actually from PhDs and master's people, right? So my response would be, the Western world has plenty of studies on this. And so hope that helps you with that answer, okay? So again, and thank you, Yvonne, who made a comment here. Now you can understand why it takes so much time for Divine. Divine is not just one ingredient, which is NPN class 1. It's very easy. Divine has actually 8 active ingredients in that product. And from previous trainings, we have learned that when you combine different products together, you need to make sure that there's no countering or any kind of negative effects that can come from combining different products together, right? So again, when Opulence launches these products, and we have an NPN class 2 right now for Divine, we are applying for class 3, but again, it takes time, right? But it shows you about the quality of the products that we actually carry. So I guess there's a question that came in from Verlin, Henry. It says, thank you so much for sharing, Henry. That's right also. Who is not ready nor open? Well, it's too bad for them. Henry, can you please share some of the story, especially with your first LD? I'm not sure if that means lifestyle director or lady. And the child with encephalitis on the Wednesday morning call. Okay, so Wednesday morning, which is, I guess, in 2 days, Roland's asking if you don't mind sharing that story again, okay, Henry, on this Wednesday's call.
Okay.
But again, I guess carrying on with the story now, I guess, for the people out there who, I guess 2 questions, right? One is, what are some of the major key benefits of FOL compared to the other products? Now, you mentioned about pricing, right? One thing you always say is that to get all the benefits of this one bottle, you'd have to spend, all this money on like 50 different products to get the benefits. Is that what you always say, Henry?
Yeah. we all know that our body is designed, God designed our body to be very complicated, very sophisticated, and it needs a lot of nutrients, a lot of function. So even just one organ in our body, like the liver, for example, hundreds of different functions. It has to synthesize, break down, detox, and clean up, and everything. So all of these things are happening in our body. It's very hard to provide the nutrient or medication for whatever issues the body comes up with. So our body could display 5, 10, 20, even 100 different symptoms. And you just can't come up with 100 medication or solutions for that. You supply the body with 80 different sources of nutrients. It's just so difficult to do that. And it costs a lot of money, and it's very difficult to pinpoint where really the problem is. So that's why I like the Functional Life, which is works on a cellular level. It protects the cells from the membrane of the it's like the skin of the cell. It protects it from being attacked by free radical damage, and everything starts with the cell, the cellular damage. So when the membrane of the cell is damaged, it penetrates into the inner side of the cell, which is built of molecules, and then eventually it invades into the DNA, the chromosomes, and mitochondria. So all of that eventually could lead to the disease of a cell, or it's a damaged cell or mutated cell, and all this could eventually lead to cyst, nodules, tumor, cancer. So you can see from all this, from a little pimple in the cell to the death of our body. It runs all the way. So if we're able to protect our cellular health and protect our body from being affected by inflammation, infection by bacteria or virus or anything else, it just solves a lot of problems in our body. When we have this working in our body, when we give our body enough of these nutrients, it actually satisfies our body with the need for a lot of nutrients. Because when let's say your stomach is being hampered by ulcerative colitis, it's being let's say it's being dragged down by stomach lining inflammation or ulcers in the stomach, and then you feel bloated, you feel constipated. All of these things are just blocking the nutrients from your body, and you're not getting enough digestion, you don't have enough appetite, you're not able to absorb the nutrients the body is looking for. Then we become more and more deficient. We're deficient in this and that. We are allergic to this and that. We start to have to go gluten-free, milk-free. We have to hide and run away from so many different things. Eventually, we are getting less and less and less nutrient the body is looking for, and we are being more and more deficient. And then we need more pills, more medication, more surgery, more everything. So that's why when we revitalize our organs, make our body function better, then we are kind of cutting down a lot of. Let's say when you fix your uterus problems or the bleeding from endometriosis or the whatever menopausal problems or other menstrual cycle issues or cold uterus and all that, then let's say you're stopping the bleeding of your uterus or stopping the menstrual heavy bleeding. Then you're not missing all this iron in your body, and you're not going to be in no blood pressure, no sugar, no this and no that. And when you fix one problem, you solve 5 or 10 different problems related to the same thing. So that's why when you take something that really help your body to fix the deficiency or the problem, then you are taking care of multiple things at the same time. That's why we call this a hidden hunger. Like when you feel hungry, you have to eat food. If we just give you air to breathe, no matter how beautiful the air is, it's not going to solve your hunger in the body. If you go one day without food, that's okay. Even 3 days, you can still manage and live. But if you go without food for 1 week, you are going to be really, really weak, and you are going to be ready to drop down. But if you continue like that for another week, you'll definitely be dead one way or the other somehow. And we our body is hungry for this niggleness. It's a hidden hunger you don't know. Now we have made the link. You are missing this link, and you have to provide your body with it. No other things can replace it. It's like when you're hungry for food, you can't just replace with water and the air, right? You are not providing the body what the body is really looking for. Now the lignans is the missing link. You have to provide the body with it, and it can help you to revitalize and normalize a lot of functions in the body.
You know, Henry, the time just flew by. It's like 3 minutes to 9. Last question for you, right? For everyone on this call, who has ever been hesitant about perhaps calling a TCM or a naturopath, right? Because you also in your team now have so many other naturopaths and TCMs and RMTs, right? What's your, I guess, piece of advice you'd give to them about that?
Well, it's just never give up, because you want to try different people, different professionals, different. It's always a great source of expansion into your business, and very stable. So if you are able to run into anybody, people lead to people, right? As I always say, people will say, "Oh, I'm not Henry. I can't do what Henry does." But I always tell people, Henry is found by Renee, and Renee is not a TCM. He is not a health professional or anything, but he just made a phone call, and it's a one phone call away to find your right partner or business. So it's you never know where you ended up with, and I because of the system now I have about 3,000 people in my team around the world. So it's a matter of just trying to do what you need to do, and treat it as a project that you are helping people. You are helping people every day. You try to help more people. With that in mind, you will actually gain what you need. Eventually, you will get what you would be dreaming for.
I love that because to me, when I approached Henry, I wasn't thinking about potentially helping one person. And when you approach these TCMs or naturopaths or hair salons or, beauty spas or RMTs, don't think that you're just helping one person. You're actually helping potentially hundreds and thousands of people because of their outreach, right? So, but Henry, it's been great to have this little sort of, I guess, fireside chat with you. I feel like me and you are quite the same kind of mindset as well too. We always think alike. We have the same work ethics. The same. I guess, yeah. I feel like you're almost like a older, smarter, wiser version of myself. You know,
Uh,
and
I the other way around. You are very smart. That's how
you
you
know,
got me.
I'm very
You know
blessed.
what I really appreciated is you really motivated me in the beginning. You kind of I still remember we had a little early morning breakfast together. So that really put me closer to you, not just a business partner, but I think you motivated me in a way that I feel like I'm valued by the top leader in the company. That kind of thing give me that boost of confidence that this is the one that I'm looking for. And this is, as I said, the company, the product, the price, the leader, everything is in place. And this, it's hard for me to run away from, and it's hard for me to fail in this opportunity. So that just give me that boost of confidence, and I really appreciate all that, and it really worked out well.
Well, again, you're very welcome. I was always very lonely for breakfast. My wife sleeps in, so I was trying to find someone to join me for breakfast. I'm just kidding. No, it truly, really, I just learned from the company's training that it's very important that when you do sponsor someone, you try to spend the first month as much as possible to guide them, and but again, to Henry's own, I guess his own effort. He's very hardworking. He's someone that cares, number one, about people, and he asks a lot of questions. But I think the biggest attribute I'd say in me working with so many different people is that you're very coachable, Henry. For someone who is actually an expert in what you do, You're very, very coachable. Not just in the product, because I know I had done a lot of research in the product itself, but in terms of everything else. Oh, excuse me, allergies in this room here. But in general, like I found that in trying to answer your questions or how to deal with different objections, that you're very, very coachable. And I think that's what has helped you have so much success is that you're just very quick to learn. You're very open-minded. So again, I'm very lucky, of course, to have found you as well too. So um, I guess we should stop the bromance before it gets any further. And I'll turn the call back to our amazing host, Rebecca. Again, thank you for hosting, Rebecca, and the call's back to you. Thank you.
Amazing. I think everyone will agree that we're okay with the bromance here tonight, you know? Wow, what an incredible call. You can see just in the chat, it's blowing up. The wisdom and the stories that have been shared tonight have been so powerful. And just thank everyone. I mean, these are like 2, 3 stories that Henry has shared about people. And there's a loaded chat group tonight. Imagine if we all just had that conversation with one person or 2 people every single day. I mean, 365 days of the year, we can each reach 700 people a year. And then who do they know? Just by talking to 2 people a day. I like the numbers, right? I like the health, but I like the numbers too. And if we break it down to something simple, the power of 2, that is massive impact, and we haven't even begun to reach the world yet. So thank you, gentlemen, so much for your time tonight. Thank you, every single one of you that's joined us, whether you're a partner or a VIP customer or somebody just looking for more information. And we'll see you at the next event. Thank you all for your comments. And Renee, Henry, do you have any last things to add before we say goodbye?
No, thank you so much. I have another call to hop on to, so I'll see you all later. To the billion. Thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you,
To the
Becca.
billion.